Hello there, everybody. I'm back on my bullshit again, and we're gonna continue with episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. So, it's been a few days since I last recorded, but that's fine. It's no big deal. It is currently raining outside right now, and my weather app on my phone is predicting a thunderstorm. So, that's great. Hopefully it doesn't interfere at all. I just heard thunder now. If my power goes out, whoops. February 23rd, 11:56 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So we just finished the first part of the trial, because the trials are split up into the trial former and trial latter now, because this episode is so long. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Yeah. Absolutely. Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So we don't have the proper gear for it, is what I'm saying. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Well, it's a bit early in the episode to be saying that. This is only the first day of the trial, and as you know, we have to always drag them out to the third and final day. Because this game is based on Japan's legal system, which has a ridiculous conviction rate. If you end up in a Japanese courtroom, you're already done for. Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I mean, my only weapon, Phoenix's only weapon in his second trial was a piece of paper that the ghost of his friend had to come down from the afterlife to tell him to flip over. You know? I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Oh, partner? Is that Marshall? Yeah, it's Marshall. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Where are you from? Where and when are you from? Did you, like, accidentally time travel to the present? Did you have, like, a culture shock of suddenly being 150 years in the future from where you should be? Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there, anyway? A lot of cop stuff, probably. All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. I mean, a detective was murdered in this case. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall, the whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edra's seen it too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, me too. We don't really need a cryptic cowboy to give us strange and mysterious omens. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? Shit. If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! No. I feel like this trial has probably ruined my appetite. It is now 12:32 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. We are back in the trial, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. Are you having, like, an allergic reaction to something? Should we call an ambulance? That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over, your bag is bent. Yeah, we might need to call an ambulance. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth? Like I said, probably anaphylactic shock. So we should, like, call 911, like, immediately. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. Well, we're not gonna worry about what's happening with Edgeworth over there. We're just gonna, like, briefly mention it and then move on. Okay. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! Okay, It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Who's there? Why are you so orange? What's with this guy? I forgot how orange you were. A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. He's a heat radiator. Who on earth is he? Didn't Emma just basically explain it? He's a heat radiator in human form. Ah, it's you. Are you gonna say anything? Oh, sorry I'm late, Udgy, the roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Udgy, how you been? Swim much these days? Hello, no, I've been so busy. Busy, smizzy, Udgy, my boy, you have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. But as you can see, I am a judge in a Japan-based courtroom. I don't have much time to work. Udgy, seems to be his nickname for the judge? Yeah, the judge doesn't have a name, Emma. He's just judge. None of the judges in this world have a name. They were born into the role of judge, and they'll always be judge. They can never be anything else. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks? So sorry about her little Worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little Worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police? No, I don't. Chief of police? This guy? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. He said jolly. Does that mean he's British? I've never heard anyone who's not British say the word jolly. Name's Gant, Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. Okay. You're a bit weird. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Whoa, it's Worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. Yeah, when you look at it really closely, it sure seems like he was the one that killed the guy. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? What? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If you were investigators like this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. Ooh, Edgeworth just got in trouble with the teacher. I'm not funny. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes. Well, I think all you have to do is push that switch, and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore, or slam my hands on my desk anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh my god, you're gonna... Can I... You don't have to do this! You don't have to go through this long process every single time. Okay, so I'm supposed to just examine it? I mean, okay. Ah, don't scare me like that, dude. I'm the one who's scared. Phoenix, you're the one holding the knife. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Wouldn't it be brown by now? Again, I'm getting way too technical for this game. Found at the crime scene, wrapped in the defendant's muffler, small tag attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife? Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really. Department in disorder. Alright, that'll be fun. This knife is special, but I can't say how here, unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. Alright. There's a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Aji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. So there's 2 murders? Order. I'm more fuzzy on the details of this case than in any other case in this game, so I don't remember much about it. Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? You just walked into this courtroom, which, by the way, has an audience, and mentioned that. Are you forgetting this courtroom has an audience? There's an audience, Mr. Gant. There's an audience of citizens, of people from the public. There's an audience. They're watching this. Why are you so fucking orange? Oh my god. I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. Chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course, unless it was planned. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Alright, okay. Still won't let me rotate it, but... Oh well. It's fine, I don't need to. Nope. So let's say we were to turn this one around. I can't figure out. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SO92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure. Reminds me of a similar code. DL6. Maybe it's a case number? That's weird. What? Oh. The thunder is coming in strong now. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Oh, trust me, pal, I don't need to. Right, there we go. Present this here. Wait a second. Ah, at last, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha, an honest-to-goodness. What do you mean, Fumudgy? This is great. Yeah, the judge asked that a lot. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SO92. And this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. Because no one around here knows how to rotate a piece of paper, apparently. What's this? Pieces of paper. When it comes to rotating pieces of paper and flipping them over, that seems to be Phoenix Wright's biggest weakness. 6 minus 7 is 12 over 2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? 221 SO9. Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SO9. That's the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Yes, exactly my point. Order! Well, Chief. Oh, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? Ace Attorney. We're playing Ace Attorney. The knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Okay, so the rest of this is the same. Okay, so... should probably press on that. I don't know if the microphone is picking up the thunder that is happening, but it is quite loud. Hang on, I should check my weather app to make sure I'm not in grave danger. I don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, which has happened a few times in the past several weeks, but I do have a flash flood watch, so that's probably fine. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice. Good show, Woodworthy. It was a murder weapon as it happens. I mean, that should be pretty obvious. It's missing the tip of the blade and it has blood on it. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. It was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. Now what do I do? Press here. I am working off of a guide, just so you know, because I don't want... because I'm not breaking the segments up into different videos, so I don't want anything to go on for too long. The same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, righto. I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Kid? Hang on, how old are you? Here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing, and one thing only. Where the victim was found. So, tell me, where was the victim found? You called me kid, I need to know how old this guy. Oh, he's 65. I thought he was in, like, his 50s. Alright. Where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Here's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. not officially linked. Yes. Just there. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Wright. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed, there do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. I don't like his eyes. They look very strange. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'm getting a little worried about this. I can no longer see out the window next to me, because there's too much rain on it, but it's fine. Cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? Press. If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. The victim's ID number. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing where this is going. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Well, isn't that curious, Mr. Damon Gant? Isn't that a little strange? How did the same man die twice in 2 different places? Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. First number was, I think it was like 54. Oh, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. 5842189. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning... it has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? How about I just show you something instead? Because this is very curious indeed. Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just... I got confused. I never went to prom. I didn't. Not junior or senior. Because both my junior and my senior proms, happened during the, whole, global panoramic situation. So, I'm not sure there even was a junior prom for my class. There was a senior prom, but I wasn't gonna go because I didn't really have friends at high school anymore. Like, I didn't have anybody I could go with, and, like, what's the point of going to prom if I didn't have a friend I could stay with the entire time, because I'm socially awkward and don't want to talk to people. It's just, I got confused. And this is news? You'll be confused too. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing. Like you always do. Are you flirting with me? The police department, the prosecutor's office, 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. 2 places, the same detective murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh ho! Is it yours? I'm not a police officer. No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney. Remember? Look at my badge. My badge? See my badge? My badge on my jacket? Yeah, you see it? My badge? Look at my badge. You see my badge? It's right here. This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personnel IDs are top secret. Well, it was found at the scene of the crime. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82... I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right! Again! The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Objection! Wait a second, Wright. What is this? It means somehow the same dude was killed in two different places at the same time. Mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho, ho, ho! Sharp as a tack, Righto, sharp as a tack! But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim! Yeah, that's the problem. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location. Supposedly. Order, order, order. Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? Didn't like that. Don't like that. The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins?
Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before?
It was the dude who barged into Edgeworth's office. Yikes.
Wait, aha!
Why is your head shaped like that? Fucking hexagon for a head. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Gah. Why didn't your officer tell me?
Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged.
Hey, that's a little rude. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then His mouth looks like a frog. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law?
Well, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. But you just said Edgeworth did something wrong by not accepting the report in the first place because of the connection to the ongoing case, but now you're saying you couldn't. You're not making any sense, dude. It doesn't add up. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! Well, that's a bit rough. Oh! Now I have a flash flood warning. It's no longer a flash flood watch, it's a flash flood warning. That's probably fine, right? It'll be fine. It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, what with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. It's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
You know, I always forget Emma's here until she actually says something. Same thing happened with Maya. Don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well, court is adjourned. Oh, that was not as long as I thought it would be. Damn, okay, we got... There's a lot for the next investigation section. Well, yeah, I'm gonna save my progress. I'm probably... Even though I only did one, video, and it's not really that long, it's 30 minutes long, so that is kind of long, but I'm gonna stop recording now because I'm a little concerned about the weather. Apparently, I think I heard my dad say that the power in this house went out earlier this morning, and this storm is getting pretty rainy. Don't think I've heard thunder in a bit, but I am a little concerned, like, just if the power goes out, you know, obviously it wouldn't be good for... There's thunder. Wouldn't be good for the recording, so I'm gonna stop recording here, even though I only did one video, because I don't want to risk something getting messed up, by, like, a lightning strike on a telephone pole somewhere. So that's it for now. I think this is episode 37, so next one will be 38. So see you next time. I don't really have anything else to say, so see you next time. Take care of yourself. Have a good time. Just whatever you're doing, have a good time with it, you know? A good time. Good times are great. See you later.